Here at our bird feeders this morning. Little chickadees are coming to get their food. There's another bird feeder over here. And then Mr. Blue Jay back there. They're a little bit more shy. Let me go down the steps here. Alright. Nice, cool, crisp morning. Wanted to bring up a very interesting point here. Something that I learned about. Haven't had a chance to do a video on this yet, but I'm doing it now. I'm seeing an increase in this End the Fed movement. Ron Paul was kind of one of the big proponents of this thing of End the Fed, and he's been saying it for years. And of course, G. Edward Griffin was really the one that most people would credit with really exposing the Federal Reserve System with the Creature from Jekyll Island, that book. And the whole thing is that the Federal Reserve, just kind of explain it if you don't know, the Federal Reserve that prints the money here in America is a private, run-for-profit bank. It is not part of the federal government, and they charge interest on the money that they print and give to the government, and then you never pay the interest off. You just get into more and more debt. And as I speak right now, the debt of the federal government that they owe to the Federal Reserve, essentially, I guess, if you can say it that way, is approaching 36 trillion. Might have even gone to 36 trillion by now, I don't know. But it was very close to $36 trillion of unpayable debt. And the interest on that debt is just under $1 trillion. Absolutely insanity. Or absolute insanity, rather, say it that way. Just complete, crazy, nutty insanity. But that's what happens when you have a corrupt banking system. And I'm reading a book on economics right now, which I'll be showing in the future in a video. It's a really good book. And that book goes into it's talking about the history of central banking and things. And you might not think that that's significant for a Christian to learn about. You might say, well, I don't understand. What's the big deal? Who cares about banking? Let's make it about salvation, the gospel, and everything else. But you see, the prophecy in Scripture is that there would come a day where there is a digital currency called the Mark of the Beast. Now, they might not call it the Mark of the Beast, but that's what it is. There would be a man, a fake Christ, that shows up on the earth, and that people would worship him, and they would take a mark and be part of his financial system. So the Antichrist, his servants, for centuries now, have been building this coming kingdom. And it's the ultimate slavery. Go back into the 1800s and you take a slave, and the slave runs away from his master. Well, he goes some other place, he gets some money, he can buy and sell. Not so in this coming time. What the Bible prophesies for the future is a cashless system, a mark that is required to be taken, and you can't buy or sell unless you have that mark. But it's not just the mark, it's also worship of the beast and his image. All right, so at some point in time in the past, people looked and they said, I don't even understand how that would work. We have, different ways of transacting. We can barter, we can do whatever. How would it work that you could actually have some kind of a mark that would prohibit you from buying and selling and force you to worship somebody? It seemed ridiculous in the past. Not so anymore. But here's my theory with how this thing goes, and I'm going to back it up with science. Okay? This whole thing of the Trump movement right now, and their, make America great again and all this other stuff, some of it will be positive. It always is. You don't put toxic waste or something in a mousetrap. You put good food. cheese or peanut butter or something like that in a mousetrap. That's what you do. So if you want to trap people, if you want to ensnare people, then you put something out there that would be positive for them. So, end the Fed, we need to audit the Fed. The Fed's never been audited, we need to end them. We need to, pay their debt back and whatever else, and then what? Well, we should have a gold and silver backed currency or something, and not like the Fed or whatever else that they're, we don't have $36 trillion of gold in the vaults there at Fort Knox, to back up the debt. We don't have that. If you think that we do, then you're kidding yourself. But, we should end the Fed and we can come out with a new currency or whatever else. That's not what they want. You see, if the end the Fed movement comes in, I believe that they're going to bring in a cryptocurrency. Now, here's the interesting thing about this. What did Donald Trump do when he was running for president? He went to a Bitcoin, or rather, I guess I should say, a cryptocurrency conference. And you elect me, I'm gonna make power plants. We'll be the cryptocurrency capital of the world. Interesting. How are we going to do that without going into more debt? Huh? We're just going to build a whole bunch of new power plants and factories and everything else to produce electricity, which is, by the way, is very ironic because the way for the future is to create mining facilities, data mining facilities or whatever, so that you can create this technology that creates the cryptocurrency. So, I remember reading in the Bible that there's a prophecy about the end times that the Lord's going to destroy them which destroy the earth. And I fought for years in our area here to stop a mining company named Wolfton from coming to the area. They were going to build a mine in a very pristine area to the north of us, number of miles to the north of us, not very far away, and completely destroy the area. And they would have destroyed the area. But it's for the good. It's for the good of people. We need to mine. We have to start mining. We have to start using more electricity, and we have to do all these things. What's it going to do to the earth? See these trees out here behind me? You can cut these trees down. You can cut these trees down and use these trees for firewood. And you know what? Trees grow back. Okay? Cut them down, split them, saw them, split them, burn them in your wood stove, get some good heat from that. They grow back. And right now, I can show you here this stand of trees right here. These are quaking aspen. People call them popple. But quaking aspen trees, this needs to be thinned out. Good forestry practice requires you to cut trees down. See? It's good for the environment. That's why I do it. It's good for my property. I'll show you this right here. The trails that I was building that I've talked about in other videos, shown them and whatever. I might even walk over here and go to those trails. These are the trees right here, this little pile right there, that came from building those trails. So you cut the trees down to make better trails, which not only we use, but also the animals and things here use it. You'll see moose tracks on our trails. They love to use those trails. I mean, you're a moose and you have, this huge big spread of antlers up on top of your head. You don't really want to walk through the mess like this over here. All these tight trees. You're whacking your antlers on everything. You choose a trail. So good for the wildlife, good for us, gives us exercise, and good for the environment. But what do you do about this whole cryptocurrency thing? Data mining and all this other stuff. You have to build huge factories to produce lots of electricity so that you can produce your cryptocurrency. That's not a system that God is for. I will promise you that. Wealth in the Bible is something that is tangible, physical. You can hold it. When you go to heaven as a Christian, there is the judgment seat of Christ, and God will reward you with a crown. There are different types of crowns that are listed. I have a whole study on the thing of the judgment seat of Christ. It's something physical. And I hear these people, I'm a Christian, but I don't believe in gold. Well, that's kind of weird because God does. So you don't believe in it, but God does. Which one should I trust? I think I'll trust the Lord on that one. But getting back to what I'm saying here, why is the mark of the beast something? If you read Revelation 14, 9 through 11, it says, if any man take the mark and worship the beast in his image, he goes to the lake of fire for eternity. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever, and they have no rest, day nor night. God punishes people completely because they took the mark. Why? Why is it such an important thing to stay away from this mark of the beast? Why is there such a dire warning? I mean, you get some person and they go out and they cheat on their wife or something, or they might get into some other type of thing, get drunk and have an accident and they go to jail or whatever else. God will forgive them. There's no sin right now that you can do that God won't forgive. Okay? Well, what about blaspheming the Holy Ghost? You know, people say that, the unpardonable sin. That was only when Jesus was on the earth. Okay? Read the context. Again, I have a whole study on the unpardonable sin. It is not possible right now. Okay? So you can just take a chill pill, as I used to say back when I was a teen. Don't have to worry about that. There's no unpardonable sin right now. Okay? But this mark of the beast that's coming, the reason it's such a serious sin is because when you take that mark and you worship the beast in his image, you're worshiping Satan in the flesh, basically. The devil gives him his seat and power and great authority. Revelation 13 talks about it. So there's that. That's bad. But by taking this digital currency, and that's exactly what it will be, it's a mark with which you can buy and sell. It's not anything of real value. It's, you know, they say, well, gold is just perceived value. It's just, you know, it's only valuable because people think it is. No, gold has always been valuable. It has thousands of years of history to prove that, okay? And don't tell me somebody's out here walking around on my property and they look and they see a big gold nugget or something and they discover gold on my land. Don't tell me that they wouldn't say, oh, it's gold, gold. Or, you know, you're looking and there's a gold necklace laying there or something. And people just go, I don't need that gold over there. Of course they'd be jumping on it, be fighting each other for it. Gold is part of how God created us. We understand that gold is value, okay? You walk into some buddy's house or something, you know, the Trump's place, that his Trump Tower or whatever there, that's modeled after, what was it, King Louis the something or other number, and it's gold gilded everything. And you would walk in there and not be impressed? Please. But see, cryptocurrency, that's what perceived wealth is. You look at the cryptocurrency, oh, you're Bitcoin rich. Oh, wow. What is Bitcoin rich? What does that mean? See, I can show you on a computer screen that I have $20 million in Bitcoin, but that doesn't do anything. What you want to look and see for somebody to be considered rich by society, you want to see a Lamborghini parked out in the driveway, or a big huge house, or gold jewelry. Okay? So the real mind control psyop thing is a digital currency. See, it's not gold and silver. Gold and silver is true wealth. It always has been. Thousands of years of history, of the history of mankind, has proved that. But see, the mark of the beast is going to be a number of things all together. All right, the mark of the beast is going to be a system of digital currency, but then here's the real danger. It's also going to be used to control you. It's also going to be used to completely sear your conscience. You will destroy your conscience when you take it, because you will be worshiping the beast and his image. You'll be worshiping Satan manifest in the flesh. That's the big problem. And no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark. There will be no other currencies accepted. There will be no other wealth accepted. That's why, again, in the end times, gold and silver becomes worthless. Why? Because it's the mark of the beast. The mark of the beast is there. There's nothing else but the mark of the beast. You go someplace, you say, I have a 1 ounce coin or whatever else. I have some gold. No, thank you. Well, I've got some silver. How about some platinum? No, thank you. I have these dollar bills here. No. Sorry, sir. We can only transact in the mark. That's why it's such a bad system. But getting back to the original point of the video, and the Fed, this movement, and the Fed, you know, yeah, and the Fed boost the Bitcoin. Okay, here's where it gets very interesting. What happened when Trump was selected? The day of the selection. And that's what it was. It's a selection. It's not an election. What happened when he was selected? November the 5th. What happened? Gold started to nosedive. I'll put up the Kitco chart here showing what happened. You can see that on the chart how gold fell terribly. Around $200. That the gold spot price dropped. Huh. But what happened to Bitcoin? The exact opposite. Bitcoin surged. Here's the chart. Look at it. You can see how that Bitcoin absolutely skyrocketed, went way up. Now I realize I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, so to speak, but that seems a little strange to me. I mean, just normal market demand, you know, whatever else. Why would the demand for gold drop off so heavily after Trump is elected, or while he's being elected? And by the way, it was, you know, the 5th, so the news really didn't come out till what, the 6th or something of November. But yet it started to crash. The price of gold started to crash on the 5th before people knew who was going to be elected. And Bitcoin started to go up. Almost like they were getting ready to push people towards Bitcoin. Or is it NSA coin or Bitcoin? I can never remember. Because the NSA owns Bitcoin. They own the patent to it, I should say it that way. The National Security Agency. The people that track and trace what you do. No man might buy or sell save he that had the mark. No man might buy or sell private transactions, and it's none of your business what I'm going to do with my money, save he that had the Bitcoin. If you understand what I'm saying there. I'm going to go today and I'm going to buy something in cash. You say, what are you getting? What are you going to buy? It's none of your business. Oh, it must be dangerous. No, it's none of your business. But you see, we've been programmed into thinking now that somehow, you know, there are terrorists out there, and we could stop terrorist attacks if we knew what they were spending their money on. How? Oh, so then you take away people's freedom. See, the mark of the beast prophecy for the future, the point of it being so bad is that it's total slavery. It's destruction of free will. And that's something that God doesn't even do. God doesn't force anyone to be saved. It's whosoever will. Go ahead. Whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. God doesn't say, oh, I'm sorry, you're not one of the chosen elect people, and I'm, you know, unconditional election. I'll bring you in whether you want it or not. You're going to be saved. I'm going to, you know, no, that's the philosophical rantings of an insane man named John Calvin. Came out with this nutty nonsense about unconditional election and whatever else. It's not true. Not true at all. So, I believe what Trump is going to do, and you can give me your thoughts in the comment section below. Trump is going to lower interest rates. They're already talking about it. The Fed is going to be having a meeting, I think it's December 16th and 17th, I think. And they're going to lower interest rates, probably by 25 basis points, to make it easier for people to get into debt. More on that in a minute. Trump is going to increase spending and thereby increase debt on a massive scale. Why? Well, he has to in order to make cryptocurrency go big. He has to create lots of new electric power plants. Remember, one of his campaign promises? He promised you're going to have so much electricity. We're going to be making cryptocurrency for everybody. You know, it's just going to be a great thing. But what's the cost? At what cost to the American people? He's going to increase spending and increase debt. Why? Because he has to renew the agenda of the Great Taking. Because you see a lot of people under the Biden-Harris regime, they were paying their debts off because they didn't want to go through this Great Taking thing and have all the debt, and they call the debt in and say, hey, you have to pay it off right now. I can't pay it. Okay, then we'll take it. So under the Biden-Harris regime, they came out, people were paying their debts off, the Great Taking thing had to be put off for a little while. But when Trump comes in, and he'll say, oh, it's the best economy in American history, like he did the first time. And he was lying. It wasn't the best economy ever. That's a lie. Why would he lie like that? I'll let you fill in the blank there. But, so it's going to come out, and it'll be, you know, we need to increase this debt and whatever else to, you know, we have to for America's future. It's good. It'll be good for us and good for our future and things. And trust me, everything's fine. The economy's never been better. I mean, both administrations, last two regimes, have said the same thing. Best economy ever. We created the strongest economy. And anybody that understands even basic economics would say, no, it wasn't the best economy ever. You're lying. So, two little chickadees over here on this tree. I don't know if they'll stick around. Yeah. Good morning. So, just, it blows my mind how people fall for things like this. But I will say a few more things here and then I'll stop. But to me, cryptocurrency is digital slavery. It is. And I will not ever have cryptocurrency. I don't care one bit about becoming Bitcoin rich. I believe in having privacy when it comes to my spending. What I do with my money is my business and no one else's. I work very hard to put out videos. I work very hard here on my property to get work done. And no one has the right to come and ask me what I'm doing with my money. Nobody. And I find it rather insulting to think of being tracked and traced like I'm some kind of an animal. I mean, I drive past the farmer fields up here and you see the cattle and they have the little yellow tag on their ear, you know. And I think to myself, that's what they want for all of us. And I know, you know, you can make the argument, yeah, well, we have a driver's license, we have all the other things, bank numbers and, you know, all the other things like that. Yeah, I get it. We're already well into the system, well beyond what our ancestors would have ever put up with, which is sickening. But we have some freedom left. I'm thankful that I can be walking around on my own property right now without having to answer to anybody. I'm glad for that. And so, you know, and of course you can make the arguments against that. I mean, you can argue anything, okay? You can be spoiled by philosophy. Think to yourself, well, you know, this is there, so might as well just go along with cryptocurrency, or, you know, we can't really ever go back to this, or to a gold and silver, you know, being able to buy and sell with gold and silver, so you might as well just accept Bitcoin. No, I'm going to be as contrary as I can to the whole thing. I'm not going to be accepting it. So that's going to be it for my little walk and talk thing here on this subject this morning. But you mark my words, you're going to see Trump making some big moves in the economy and destroying the Federal Reserve. And again, and the Fed. Well, it's going to end eventually anyhow. All fiat currencies do. All currencies where they just print it and print it and print it and get people into more and more debt. Eventually the scam is discovered and it dies, and that's it. So it's not some kind of end the Fed movement. If it's going to end, you might as well capitalize on it and say, hey, you know something? We could make ourselves look really good. We come out and say, the Federal Reserve's no good, we need to put an end to this and whatever. And my thinking is, Bitcoin, I think Bitcoin would be even better, No, actually it wouldn't be. Because then you're a lot more traceable than having cash. You better think about that. And by the way, all you patriots out there, what do you think of Donald Trump, this whole Trump agenda coming in? I can't say it was Donald Trump, per se. Well, what do you think about this thing of Trump coming in and the value of precious metals drops? Tremendously. Not just a little bit. Explain that to me. I'd like to hear people's thoughts on that. Why did the price of precious metals drop through the floor and Bitcoin goes way up? Bitcoin soars, gold plummets. Why? Almost like we're being moved in a direction. Moved in a direction that I am not willing to accept. Again, you have to get into the thing of Bitcoin, brother. It's the way of the future. How? I don't have a cell phone. I don't have a smartphone, and I don't ever want to get one. How am I supposed to go along with that agenda? I will fight. I will resist. He who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way, and then shall that wicked be revealed. Okay, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. My job is to hinder the Antichrist system, and that is what I'm going to do. From now until the Lord says, come up hither. And I hope that your prayer and your desire is to do the exact same thing if you are a brother or sister in the Lord. If you are lost, understand what you're heading towards. You say, well, I'm not completely sold into the whole Bitcoin thing. I do have a little bit. I don't have any, nor do I ever intend to have any. So just give you some things to think about here this morning, and let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Thank you for watching.